Capricorn. Hello, Amanda here. Welcome to the Unseen Hands Collective. This is going to be your March shift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. So Capricorn, the image that's coming to me for you is you standing on ice, which is a theme that we've been working with here at the collective for the collective overall readings for a few months now. You're standing on this ice with a pickaxe, chipping away at the ice. And I'm getting this sense, especially with your cards, that there's something you've been chipping away at for some time. And it's like you're trying to get to something that is frozen beneath and you're wanting to bring it up to the surface. But maybe that frozen layer is a bit stubborn and you're having a hard time letting it break through. If you've watched March's collective reading, you'll know that this month is about breakthroughs. This is the ice breakings. So there's a lot of energy here conspiring with you for this breakthrough. Let me show you what your shift looks like. So we're using Brian Froud's fairy deck this month. And you're shifting out of this raw energy and into the journeyman. And I love it because this is what feels like the energy that you're trying to get to that's frozen beneath the surface. It's big. I mean, this card is called Roar. Like it's this gigantic. I mean, when I look at this card, it's almost like a massive object moving through deep space, and I think that is the energy of it, Capricorn. It's like there's big energies moving beneath your surface, moving through your deep space, and I think you're up here on the surface trying to sort of chip away at it, to doing the work, the hard work of breaking your own barriers and trying to access this large energy that is frozen in your depths. And then, I love that you're shifting into the journeyman because it's almost like, breaking through that this month and maybe being able to access it. It's like this raw energy, once it is able to surface for you, can be a companion on your journey, can help move you forward, taking a journey, taking the steps, finding your feet to be able to step forward and take the next steps. Here's what your shift looks and feels like. You've got Lists of the Shadows, Sylvanius, and Faf the Footer. I love this because, look at this. This is that energy that is frozen in your deep space, beginning to make its way up to the surface. Lists of the Shadows is rising up out of the shadows towards the light, towards the surface. And last month's energy for you, I believe, was really similar to this. It was talking about Capricorn, you're a sea goat. You are half fish, half goat, half sea creature, half land creature. And so there can be a tendency to either be in these deep depths or up at the tip of the mountain. And there was something, there was a lot of energy of connection and friendship and intimacy that was available to you if you were able to find the balance between those extremes and meet in the middle, meet your people who love you in the middle. There was connection available to you in finding that balance. And it's a similar message this month, but much more specific because there is something that wants to surface. And I think you are an active part of getting it to surface. I see you chipping away at it, but it feels that frozen layer is a protective layer. It's a barrier that has been there for whatever reason for you, based on your life experiences. There may be a belief that you need to protect yourself and others from your deep space. Listen, when I get this raw energy, it's intense. Sometimes I do fear it. Sometimes when I pull this card, I'm like, whoa, what is that? It looks like something big that's just ready to burst. And so maybe there's a fear that if this surfaces from your shadows, I think Kevin said this when we were talking through your cards with, my 2 cohorts at the collective. I think she said that it's almost like, in this card, there's a lot going on. There's masks being taken off. There's this person holding a huge sword. And she mentioned that maybe whatever this is, it feels like a truth too big for you to hold. Or like this energy that usually, maybe emotional energy that is frozen in your depths, it stays down there because it feels too big for you to hold. It feels too big for others to hold. And I think part of what's coming out this month is that it's not. Because look at the transition from something way too big and inconceivable to even imagine carrying with you or bringing up and out for others to see. And then all of a sudden it's like, once it's actually up and out, it's totally manageable. It's not maybe as big and scary as you think. Faf the Footer. What an interesting thing that, like, when this truth is able to surface for you, when you are able to hold the fullness of your truth and your emotions and your emotional experience, bring it up to the surface, share it with others. I think that is definitely part of removing a mask layer, like chipping away at that frozen layer is also a willingness to reveal. But then there's this interesting dynamic happening with feet. I mean, we have a card called Faf the Footer. We see this little fairy sitting on some mushies, massaging its feet. Almost as if, I don't know, to me there's something healing about it. There's something healing and preparatory, because it's like this truth or these emotions, whatever this is for you that's typically frozen in the shadows, it comes up to the surface, which is where Faf the Footer is, and then you can sit with it. And it's almost like it's prepping you for your next steps or for the next leg of the journey. It's like once Faf the Footer massages those feet, they're going to be ready to take the raw, take whatever this is that has become unfrozen and take the next steps with it. Go on the next part, the next leg of this journey. And I love that you're not alone. Because a big part of your readings lately have been about community, have been about connection. I think last month's reading was an ecology of connection. It's like if you are creating an ecosystem that is no longer completely self-contained in this like closed loop system of yourself, then part of that does require the vulnerability of holding your truths and allowing others to hold your truths and allowing others to experience your deep space, your deep spaces that are normally kept in the shadows. This reading is quite simply not compartmentalizing, like being willing to, again, to go off of last month's reading, integrate the parts of you that is down here frozen in the depths and the part of you that is up here on the surface of the earth making moves and taking big steps. To realize that you need both parts of you right here in balance, integrated together to fully embody who you are and hold the fullness of who you are. And also to take the next steps wherever your life is leading you. Which again is, I think, very much in conjunction with other people. It's almost like they are helping you take the next steps. I don't know, Cap. I love this reading for you. It's really powerful, and I'm gonna keep pulling cards now into an extended reading where we're gonna get a little deeper into this energy and see what this is that is frozen in your deep space and what wants to come to the surface, and then what can happen when it does. So if you are interested in following me to that extended reading, you can click the link in the description below, and that will take you to unseenhandscollective.com, where you can access the extended in the shop and also in our memberships. Now, y'all know this is only 1/3 of your March shift energy. This is just the tarot portion. My cohorts at the collective, Kevin has created an astroscope for you so that you can loop in the planetary energies and influences into your March shift. Kelsey has created a guidebook for you to more personally move through your own shift experience as you work with this insight for March. So go check those things out, unseenhandscollective.com. Y'all also know that we offer a lot of free stuff over there. We have a whole collective membership that is free, so you can shift with us collectively as a group over there on our site. So go check us out, see what we have to offer, and we hope you join us. Or, so maybe you're afraid of your emotions causing too much disruption in your connections or in your domestic space, or maybe that, like, if you were to speak if there is some sort of big truth that you're holding, and if you were to speak it, it would just create too much movement, too much disruption, too much fireworks, too much of a shakeup. And you don't want to rock the boat like that. But it seems like if you want to create a sustainable ecology of connection, maintaining compartmentalized halves of you is not sustainable and is not connective. So this is the kind of risking vulnerability and transparency and communication is the kind of thing you're going to need to find a more sustainable ecosystem, and one that is truly in connection with others.
It's a lot of water that you are swimming in, but you have to swim in it because you've been avoiding this area. Okay, you've been avoiding this area because, like I said, you like to go down to the shores and you take whatever you need from the water, like real quick. Like, you don't go in real deep. You take what you need from the water and then you real quick go back up the mountain because that's where you feel most comfortable. Back up at the mountain, back up at the top, okay? And moving, okay? Moving, also, because they're talking about movement and, how you get your needs met.